In today's episode of Wine and Design, I'm going to talk to you guys about what I do to prepare for a website launch and how I offboard my clients. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Wine and Design. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so if you're new, I post on Wednesdays and I'm going to be very consistent and particular about posting Wednesdays around 6 p.m. every single week, a wine and design video, which is me sipping on a new glass of wine and talking about graphic design or showing you guys behind the scenes of some of my client work. So if you have been here, thank you so much for sticking around and watching my videos. I really truly appreciate it. It's been a minute since I have sat down and filmed because I was on vacation for 3 weeks, exactly what I needed, and I didn't realize how much I truly needed it until I got back, and just my motivation and my new spark for creativity, and just I feel so refreshed and I'm just so happy. So I'm definitely excited to be back, and I'm excited to be filming these with you guys and doing my client work again, because I've actually really missed it. And that's how you know you love what you do, when you really miss it, even when you're on vacation and traveling around. So I'm excited to be back, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is actually just happened for me. I just launched a client website today actually, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what I do to prepare for a website launch and all the things I do to offboard my client, make sure that they're happy, and I really have a better process of that now. And I actually have a whole workflow set up in my DUBSADO so that I can properly offboard them and ask for a review and give them a little bit of a gift. So I want to talk to you guys about that all today. Before we do that, I want to sip on some wine with you guys. I feel like I just got back from Italy. I had all the wine while I was there, and I told myself on the way back, I'm like, I think I'm good off of wine for a while, but I could not do an episode of Wine and Design without at least trying a little bit with you guys. And I think I've had this one before, and I think I loved it. I couldn't remember. I honestly choose my wines based off the label, and I think I remember seeing this label before. But we're gonna try it again today. It is a South African Sauvignon Blanc, and I am definitely into the whites right now because it's so warm out and it's almost summer, which I feel like it already is summer. It's kind of crazy. But it's an exciting week. It's Leo's birthday today, so let's pour a little bit to that. And I'm actually have my birthday on this coming Saturday, so it's a big birthday week, and I figured let's celebrate early all together. So let's try this out. I haven't done one of these taste tests in a while. Let's see what it tastes like. Yeah, that's definitely not the one I had before. Because the one I had before was so good. And then next time I find it, I'm gonna tell you guys about it because it was like amazing. It was so good. But this is not bad, but I don't know, it's different. I actually filmed a little bit of me preparing and checking all the things. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a checklist to go through when it comes to your website, when one of your clients' website launch or even your own website launch. I like to follow this checklist to make sure I have everything in order to make sure that we're ready to go live. So this website was actually a little bit different and requires some extra steps because it's an e-commerce website and they're an online shop. So we have to make sure that we test an order. We have to make sure that the shop is set up perfectly and ready to accept orders, because the second they launch, the second they're gonna be able to accept those orders. So I built this website on Wix. First things first, the number one thing to do is I like to have a website walkthrough with my client. The reason I like to do that is I want to make sure that they don't have any last minute questions, or I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we are prepared for the day that's going to come. And I typically have this website walkthrough the week of our website launch. So I don't really allow my clients to give me a bunch of edits on this walkthrough. I really lead the walkthrough, and I just show them all the things on the back end of their website, and I show them that this is what's going to be seen, and we test the contact form. And this is really when I show them the meats and potatoes of their website, because this is the first time I'm showing them the back end. Now, I also provide them tutorial videos so that they can edit on their own, because they're not going to retain anything that I'm showing them on the walkthrough. It's just way too much to learn on one phone call. So I do send them tutorial videos after the fact when we're launched, but I do like to just kind of touch base with them on the launch week. Another step that I like to do is I like to go through every single page of the website. So this is something I do on my own time, but I just want to double check every single paragraph on the website, every sentence, every button, and I just go through it thoroughly one last time to make sure that I'm not skipping over anything, or maybe there's a button that links to the wrong thing. And I just take a deep dive into double checking all of it. And this can take a little bit of time. It's a little bit tedious, so it's important to schedule that time for yourself. Honestly, launch weeks are pretty tedious in itself, because at least with my offboarding process, I like to make sure the client feels really special and also really excited that this is the week that we're going to go live. So I really make it all about them on this week. But typically when I go through all the pages, it takes me 2 to 3 hours because I'm clicking all the buttons, I'm testing those forms, and I'm also just double checking that everything reads right, because I don't want a typo. I would just hate for that to happen to them on a launch day. So the next step I like to do is I actually like to install analytics onto the website. One really cool thing about Wix is that they actually have analytics built into the dashboard, which is really nice, because I feel like Google Analytics is an extra fee for me to set up for my clients. So with Wix, I just make sure that that's set up for them so that we can double check and see the traffic they're getting on that very initial day of the launch, because it's also really exciting to see like how many people came on the first day, and it's like motivating to see, because they're probably going to be surprised by the amount of people that actually check them out. So that is another step I do. Hold on, I gotta rewind all the way to the very, very, very first step. The very, very, very first thing that you need to do and that you should make sure is completed is that the domain is, if it's not already connected to this website, that the settings, the DNS name servers, they're set to be live, because the propagation time it takes for name servers to connect to the website can honestly be up to 48 hours. I've never had a propagation take me that long, but I do know it happens, and that's something you want to make sure that you have done way before the launch week. I would say a week before the launch week, you have the domain propagated. You can have a coming soon page on the website. You don't have to have it live under that domain, but it's just very important to do that, because I definitely made the mistake of waiting until a day or two before to change those name servers, and then it's just a little bit stressful because sometimes it takes a minute. So make sure that's the #1 thing to do. But going back down to the bottom of the list, and I'm going to share something that isn't necessary for all websites, but specifically for e-commerce websites, is to test an order and make sure that the client has their payment method set up. So I always, so at this point in the process as well, I've already transferred over the website I designed for them onto their own account. So they have access to go in there and add their payment method, and they have the know-how to do that, because I showed them how to do that on the walkthrough. So I always need them to do the payment method so that I can actually test an order. And then I test an order by usually making myself a very low percentage coupon. So I'm only paying like $2 just to test it. This client of mine actually had a $2 product, so I just tested it using that. And I email my client right away, make sure that they got the confirmation email, and then I forward them what I received as the customer so that they know what the customers are getting about their order. So that's another thing that you should do. Also, another thing that's important with e-commerce websites is to double check the shipping settings are all good. Make sure that the client's prepared to fulfill those orders, and that they're prepared to just have the tracking information ready to share with the client. So that leads me into my next point, and I'm sorry, this video is kind of all over the place, but there's quite a few steps to go through. So the next part of the process before I launch the website is I like to prepare a list for my clients to make sure that they have ready so that they're ready for the launch themselves. So for this particular client, they really want to track their inventory, and that's something that I have been asking them to make sure they complete, but I always want to make sure that I remind them of that when we're about to launch, because I want to make sure that if anyone purchases, that they have their inventory being tracked. And that's one of the main things I make sure that they're prepared to look into. I also want to make sure my clients are just ready to accept the orders and that they have their packaging, and I just like to kind of give them a little bit of a task list, because I think a lot of times we assume that they know what to do since this is their business, but we're pretty much the expert behind this when it comes to running the e-commerce side of it, and also just helping them be prepared for all the things that could come. Another thing I like to remind my clients of is to keep an eye out for their email list growing, because we do have email list options to join on the website. So making sure that they are aware of that as well. And I just like to make sure that I have everything in line for them and that everything is very, very clear the day before we launch. Those are all the steps that I like to take before I launch the website. But when it comes to launching the website, so now it's launch day, gone through the website walkthrough, I have sent them their task list of things that they should look into, and now it's launch day. So typically I like to launch websites on Tuesdays. Mondays are a bit, although Mondays sound really nice, it's like the start of the week, I feel like Mondays just have low performance in analytics on a lot of different things, because people are focused on their own work those days and they're not really surfing the web. So I feel like Tuesdays or Thursdays are really good days to launch a website, just based on analytics that I have collected on my own. So I like to launch websites, like I said, on Tuesdays or Thursdays. And when it comes to those launch days, I like to send them a very exciting email first thing in the morning. So this email basically just says, congratulations, it's launch day. Like, I'm super excited. I have a bunch of emojis of them being excited, and I just really like to get them super pumped about their website being completed, because it is an exciting thing, and I feel like the collaboration that it takes to get there is something to celebrate. So I really like to make that very clear to them. And then I also let them know I'm filming some tutorial videos and that I'm not going anywhere, that I can totally help them moving forward, because I don't want them to feel like I'm just handing it off and being like, good luck. I want to make sure they know I'm here for them. I also use this as a chance to build an ongoing relationship. So I like to let them know that I'd be happy to discuss next week how we can work together moving forward, because so many times my clients need help with managing their websites, or they need help with managing their email list, or they need help with social media. So I like to leave that open for them to want to discuss and follow up with them on it. So this email is just it's meant to excite them. It's meant to just show them the website and send them the link of it, and just make sure that they are prepared for the orders that could potentially come through. So that is what I do on launch day. But there's one little thing I started to do for my clients, because I want to leave an impression on them. I mean, it's all about word of mouth. I feel like that's a very important thing in my business. So one thing I started doing is providing them launch day graphics, just complimentary, because it's exciting. It's easy for me to create these graphics, and I want to send them to them so that they have something to post on their personal accounts or on their business accounts to announce the launch of their website. So that's something I provide them, and a lot of times they're very, very appreciative of that. And then, so now that's like on either Tuesday or Thursday that I send them that email about the launch week or launch day. Now on Friday of that week, while it's still fresh in their head and while they're celebrating and while they're maybe seeing orders coming through, On Friday is when I like to send them my request and also just check in with them and make sure everything's going well. But I like to ask them in a very like kind way for feedback and for a review for my website and for my Google My Business, and just so that it's fresh in their head, because if you wait a year to send them a request for a review, they're gonna be like, I don't remember. So I always like to do that the same week of their launch week, and I have this as a workflow in my DUBSADO, so it makes it so easy to schedule this workflow so that I really just can sit back and I know that it's getting taken care of. So those are all the things I like to do for a launch week and for offboarding my client. I honestly, it's so much fun. I love it, and I feel like I'm really proud of this process, and I wanted to share that with you guys today. But I am here if you have any questions, but I hope this was helpful. And if you guys want to check out that website that I just launched, please do so. I'm actually going to purchase some of their products on my own because they look so amazing. They have like a candle that smells like coffee, which is like right up my alley. So I'm definitely going to look into that. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this wine and design video. It's really nice to be back. I'm excited to be back. Let me know if you have any topic requests for videos. I am definitely open to any of your requests, so let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, I'd appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.